in the past, I would say that Omega really wanted to make sure that he could confirm his opponent's stock without Arsene, just because I feel like back then he felt as like Arsene was kind of like a comfort zone for him. As long as as long as it's out and he has that stock lead, there's not much the opponent can do to him to make him feel like really shaken up. But I think some of like the excursions that he's made to like past majors in like the past year and before then kind of really opened his eyes up that he can't always be playing in that kind of like mentality.
Right.
He has to be aggressive with Arsene out. It's just way too useful a tool. And he's kind of changed his gameplay to like keep that in mind. I think Omega's really grown as a player.
Absolutely agree with that. The issue, though, in the the Joker versus Sonic matchup is that when Arsene is out, Sonic has just so many tools to deal with that in terms of running away and making small trades to slowly chip down at the Arsene bar. And so I think that Omega's really going to try to get his change in early with the pre-Arsene stock, but now that Arsene's out and Sonido even is only at 61%, you're really going to have to make up a lot of stuff. You can't just go for free kill moves. You have to try to get some combos in, and I don't think that Sonido's feeling too hard about this one. This is what I'm talking about. Getting this chip down, and Arsene is almost gone already.
Yeah, he's playing really carefully in shield and just trying to make sure that like if something is going to come out, it just kind of gives him a better position on the stage.
No issues in disadvantage and able to hold the advantage really nicely against Arsene Joker.
That's Sonic in general, I feel. Oh, but he's going to whiff the grab, and Omega's going to go ahead and punish him for that. We'll see what Omega can accomplish here. Goes for another grab. He's going to try to go for... Ooh.
Yeah, not really a good edge guarding option against Sonic. I don't think there's ever a reason to go for it, especially as Joker. Mm-hmm. Even without Arsene, the grapple hook is not good enough to avoid anything that Sonido might turn around on you. Ooh. But yeah, ledge trap is solid, and getting a solid back air to close out the first stock. And honestly, Sonido wasn't that low, so that's really great. And if you can get the second Arsene out and get a little bit of damage, just a little bit before you get your stock taken, I think that you're in a solid spot.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's going to go ahead and like get a clip of like up airs there, and we'll go ahead and see what Sonido going for the grab and going to try to prevent Omega from like getting back to ledge, but Omega seems Arsene's out, and we're going to go ahead and see what he can accomplish here.
You can see him playing so patiently because he wants a little bit of extra change before he loses his stock. Mm-hmm. And so he's waiting, shielding a lot, fishing for the stuff, and got a little bit of damage there, which is nice, but the back air falling from Sonido is going to take the stock back, and this is as good as even.
Yeah, I think Omega definitely was kind of shooting for like at least like around the 60% range to feel really comfortable. And now I think we'll just kind of see Omega like playing a lot in shield on platforms, trying to like trend towards the center of the stage,
right?
Until like Arsene comes out, and we're gonna go ahead and see. Kind of letting Sonido feel a little comfortable here with his ledge recovery, but the forward smash is gonna come out, and Sonido going back for ledge, weighing his options, spin dashing. Arsene comes out, and we'll see what we can get done here. I'm not too familiar with like how Joker plays with Arsene out. I know that Omega used to really prefer the like drag down dares and the Omega drag down, as you will. Mm-hmm. But he's really kind of changed his gameplay since I've seen that.
Yeah, for the most part, you're looking for like down throw combos, getting like just some good damage in, while you're also looking for force confirms. That was a fantastic down air, by the way, to confirm that stock. But that's exactly what you'd be looking for when anytime that Sonic is at higher percent is those ledge trap or edge guard aerials, especially back air. That's really the money maker for Arsene Joker.
We're gonna go ahead. Omega just feeling. I think he's feeling pretty comfortable here. I know. Do you know his Do you know how blah, 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 blah. I feel like Omega has been playing against Sonido for some time now. It's definitely not a matchup that really kind of intimidates him anymore, and he's gotten like some good games against Sonido. But it's just, I think, Sonido, I think he was in Las Vegas a few weeks back, and he's doing pretty well there. I don't know if it was him or Wrath.
Good question. I'm not sure either, but I will tell you that Omega, for the most part, does not struggle in region against people, except for the occasional like Jazo Cola matchup. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, you'll see like some Mugen trade backs on their set count, but for the most part, Omega has the strongest showing in region. So, agree with you there.
Yeah, I think Omega is definitely one of the players that like we consider to if he just got some more out of region experience, he could be a contender with a lot of like the top 32 players across the country. I think everybody has that expectation. I think he was definitely feeling that pressure like a year back.
Absolutely.
I think it was really kind of. He seems to be like a lot more free now, like in terms of his like gameplay, in terms of his mood in game. Now that like the pressure's off of him to perform, and I think it's led to him being like a stronger player.
I agree with that. This is a great spot for Omega, or at least it has been, with Arsene out and Sonido at kill percentage. And there you go. You just fish for that back air. You're going to get it closing out game 1 going to Omega. Now, interesting thing, the poll that we sent out for this one came back inconclusive, and it's primarily because I didn't send it out, which is totally fine. Who do you think was going to win this? We're just going to do an in-house poll amongst production.
Personally, I'm biased. Like, I think Omega, like, if anybody like that's out there that's a Joker fan or a Joker player, I think if they saw Omega in real life, they'd probably piss themselves from fear and have an anxiety attack.
Fair.
Omega like hangs out with the most handsome guys. He eats the best food, wears the coolest clothes. Like, you know, that's just too intimidating a person to be around, honestly.
Love the rep.
Yeah, no, in all honesty, like, I've seen Omega like do. I think ever since he won against Sonido at Flashback, maybe I want to say March of 2022, he's like been really comfortable playing against him. So I just don't. I haven't seen a lot of Sonido's gameplay since then either. I don't know like how Sonido's developed as a player, but if I had to choose between the both of them, I'd probably go with Omega.
Yeah, Sonido is one of the less campy Sonics for sure. You know, but especially between the two that are currently present at this tournament, definitely the less campy one. And it's not ideal or you know, I could say efficient, optimized gameplay for Sonic to play hyper aggressive all the time, especially when you have a percentage lead. But it's just, again, players wanting to play interactive in a game that is about fighting. So
yeah.
I totally understand it either way. I personally root for anybody that has a secondary in the pocket, and Sonido's Snake is always fun to watch, regardless of whether or not he brings it out. I don't think that it's looking too strong for either player in this game, but Omega with one game up, you know, obviously has an advantage and has the momentum, and that's going to continue to carry that momentum into stock 2 for Sonido.
Now, just Omega's just gonna try to look to get some for like we've been discussing, just be making sure that he's stacking percentage before Sonic can confirm the stock here, and he's gonna go ahead and get hit by the
went low for something there, and that's exactly what we were talking about earlier. You don't really want to go off stage for an edge guard against Sonic because there's too many turnaround options that Sonido's gonna have to send your way, and even though that you were a stock up, you could have gotten more change on stage. I don't think that you were in a super threatening kill percentage for anything stray, so I would have fished for a little bit more, I think, on stage.
Yeah, I think Omega, I think, like, at least from what I've seen recently, he feels really comfortable going off stage when his, like, center stage gameplay is just fine, honestly. And I think it's kind of what I would prefer to see out of him right now in this matchup.
Getting some dancing with Arsene out. Sonido has no pressure here. He knows the game plan. He knows what the assignment is. Run around, camp, look for free hits to chip out the Arsene, but otherwise just wait it out. And Omega is struggling to get in, struggling to make anything happen with the Arsene, and it's already gone.
Yeah. And this is kind of where and Sonido's are immediately going to change up. Like, he's going to shift gears. He's going to, like, increase the torque and just kind of go in on Omega. He doesn't really feel threatened here. It's just I think Omega needs to recognize that, like, the Arsene is having a psychological effect on Sonido. So, like, you know, even if he's not landing hits, he's, like, at least affecting Sonido's, like, game plan. And if you can do that, you're going to catch a mistake.
Speaking of catching a mistake, that was a great catch on the fall there. Omega throwing out a button, I believe, and just getting caught by the fat back air of Sonic. And Sonido's up for the first time, I think, this set.
You can kind of see what Omega can accomplish here. Omega definitely looking for those, like, looking for that back air off stage or whatnot, but he's forced to play center of stage, which, you know, like, I just don't think he wants to be at, especially at this percentage. He wants to be kind of like at the ledge, like forcing Sonido like off stage.
Now, Omega, I think, is happy to get Arsene here, regardless of what it means. You know, even if you're taking like 40% damage, getting Arsene so that you have an easier time closing out the stock and getting a little extra change on your next stock means that you also have a good chance at a double Arsene for your final stock. But even if you don't, you have at least a more even footing on the last stock. However, not closing it out right there is going to be really painful unless he has a good ledge trap, and that's a fantastic one right there. That tilt's going to take the stock to even it back up. But Arsene's almost gone, so all that extra change that you wanted to get, 24%, is that enough for what you want your game plan to be as Omega? Arsene is finally gone.
Yeah, I think I think getting around that 30% was like, it was gracious. That's gracious, especially like since Sonido could have played that a lot less aggressively. But like I have to like give Sonido like his props. He's playing really calm this game. I just think he needs to just kind of pull it back maybe just a bit.
I think that makes sense. If he really wants this game, he definitely needs to calm it down a little bit. Although Omega keeping this mid-range pressure is really solid. Threatening an advance. Oh, wow. What a... Ugh. I mean, mistech there. That's incredibly difficult to tech, so I didn't blame Sonido at all. But a great follow-up from Omega. Good awareness. And he's going to take that set. 2-0 really doesn't explain how close this one was.